Hey gang, Ronan here. As you can see in this game, I am playing the new Tier 9 European destroyer, Lambros Katsonis. It's a Greek flag that the ship flies. I wanted to give you as much information as possible about this thing, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just read from the World of Warships wiki, the description of the ship, and then I'll go into some of the details of the weapon systems. And this game starts kind of slow, so we've got a little bit of time to do that. In the late 1920s, there was a dispute among the leaders of the Greek Navy about whether to invest in building more conventional ships or build fewer but stronger ones. In 1929, as Turkey purchased 4 destroyers from Italy, the first approach prevailed, and Greece ultimately ordered 4 destroyers to be built with simplified technology, also in Italy. An alternative solution could be the other approach, which envisaged ordering a pair of large ships with 140 millimeter guns. The most suitable was one of the pre-designs of a fleet cruiser that the British Admiralty was considering at that time, namely the E-class cruiser armed with 6 140 millimeter guns. Lambros Katsonis was named after the leader of the national liberation struggle of the Greek people. Now, of course, you've heard it. It's a big ship, and it does handle a little bit more like a cruiser than a destroyer. If you've played like the German line or even Gros Savoy or Cobb or Delny, any of the large destroyers, it won't feel entirely foreign to you. But unlike a lot of other large destroyers at higher tiers, this ship boasts smoke and radar. Now you do have we have a couple of others that can do that, but it is kind of a neat thing in a tech tree ship, and this has torpedoes that can hit destroyers, which if you're a fan of the Pan-Asian destroyer line, you know they can't, which it kind of hampers your ability to push in close and bully destroyers. Okay, so what can I tell you about the guns? As I mentioned, they're 140s. You've got 6, and if you take a look in the lower left corner, you can see right there, they're all lit up. But really, you're going to be able to get about 4 guns on the target most of the time. And if you try to get all of your guns on the target, you're going to be basically like this, showing flat broadside. So if you do pick up this ship, keep in mind that in order to bring all your guns to bear, you're going to put yourself in a position where you're probably going to take a beating. Now I'm going to head back here and I'm going to intercept that Paolo Emilio. It's obvious he plans to try and get into the Charlie Cap. So these 6 guns, what can I tell you about them? Why am I smoking? I want their team to think that there's a destroyer here. That's all. Now they can't see that I'm, falling back with the smoke. They just saw the plume of smoke. And I'm just going to meet him when he comes around the corner. Did I have to do that? No, but I did. Now these 160s, you can see you don't have AP shells. You only have HE. They do a max HE shell damage of 2,000 with a 10% chance to start a fire. Initial shell velocity 840 meters per second. So they're not that speedy. He's going to come out here in a second. And I'm standing there ready. Try and catch him with torps. And you can see you've only got 1 rack per side. I'll tell you about the torpedoes here in just a second. I know his torpedoes are really slow, so I don't think I'm going to have a hard time avoiding them as our Atlanta finishes him off. And I should be able to just outrun these. Thought about using the speed boost, but really didn't need to. It was close, but didn't need to do it. So Atlanta helped me finish him off, which is great. Okay, now the torpedoes. You've got 2 racks. You can see you got 1 on either side. So you don't have the ability to throw 8 torpedoes on one side. And that is a little bit of a drag, to be honest. But you can't have everything, I guess. And this is a Tier 9. And the torpedoes themselves, well, they've got a base reload of 68 seconds. You can see there on the bottom of the screen. I've got the reload down to 52 seconds, which is really nice. And although I haven't played a lot of games in this ship, this was one of the later games that I played, if not the latest game that I played. I maybe had 10. I don't know. I didn't count them. And I really started to be able to feel like, okay, I'm starting to be able to make use of this thing. And so the torpedoes, you can get the reload down quite a bit. And do they do a lot of damage? No, they don't. They do 10,700 max, but just like the other destroyers in the pan-European line, your hope is that you're going to get a flood and then set a fire, or get a flood and then less than a minute later be throwing more torpedoes out to get another flood and get permafloods and permafires. And I have had some success with that. And the base speed on these torpedoes is 80 knots. And of course you can improve that, but 80 knots, that's pretty darn fast. 9 kilometers range on the torpedoes, well, that's not too great, right? And I would love to be able to throw torpedoes out from both racks so you could cover a wider area. But that's just not how they set it up. Now I'm expecting radar here any second. That's why I'm staying angled up. And when he sees the torpedoes, he's going to know. Well, he's going to run. So and the shot's going to be coming here any second. Right there it is. Able to juke the shells. And I'm not doing a whole heck of a lot to him other than irritating him. I'm just going to slow down, turn in. And see what I can do to help. So we're down 2 ships. Our Nagato, he's in big trouble. Doesn't look like he's going to be around much longer. If Iowa or Bolognesi get another shot on him, or even Gorizia for that matter, he's probably going to get sunk. They've lost Kansas, Paolo Emilio, and Hollande. So, all in all, I'd say it's a pretty close game still at this point. We do have a points lead. We secured a cap fairly early, and we've killed a battleship, which is worth more points. Now, what am I going to do here? Well, I'm just going to try and keep them out of this cap. It seems pretty obvious to me that they plan to make a push here. I've got 25 seconds till the torps come back up on the other side. I've got to remember that I have a 7.2 kilometer detection radius on this thing. I would like to get closer, but I'm just not willing. He's got his guns aimed elsewhere, so I'm going to go ahead and take the shot. I do manage to get a fire. Colorado comes around the corner. And I'm able to narrowly avoid getting hit by him. And maybe he'll get me this time. Nope. I'm going to boost and reverse and try to get guns on him as much as I can. Looks to me like he's probably going to try and get behind that island. Maybe I can get a fire started. I aim a little higher. I thought I aimed high enough that time. Iowa does take out our North Carolina. Now we are down 4 ships. There's the fire. Bad guys are only down 3, but their Izumo and their Alaska are both really beat up. And he's just letting that fire burn, which I'm totally happy about. And I'm going to put those out there because it looks to me like we might have 2 ships that are considering making a run for that cap. Now Colorado's in trouble. I'm taking a look at the mini-map. We got Rune, Atlanta, Tirpitz. Alaska finishes up our Iowa, and Iowa in turn takes out the Alaska. Between Rune, Atlanta, and Tirpitz, I'm really hoping they can handle the Colorado. So I'm going to head back this direction and just focus on keeping things from coming through this gap. And that was so disappointing. Iowa has moved in range of my guns now, so it can see me, even though I was behind the smoke. So I just have to juke, use my speed, and I do pick up the kill. So we're down to 4 ships right now. Bad guys still have 6. See if I can juke again. Well, not entirely. And they are here. Oh boy! Now the sub's in the game here on my 3 o'clock or so, 4 o'clock. See if I can get Iowa burning a little more. Oh, can I stop? Oh, that is so ugly. Now it's looking really bad for me here, right? It is. I mean, there's just no two ways about it. He pings me again. I know that there are other shots coming. I still got 9 seconds until I can stop the flooding. So now it's just a fight for survival. You know, can I keep from getting sunk here? We're down to 4. Okay, so I managed to break the lock, and I have to rush at him now. Everybody up there is behind islands. I have to hope that I can get guns on him and sink him. He's pretty good with those pings. Yeah, he's headed straight at me right now, so I just have to run at him and hope that I just can finish him off here. Those torps are going to be turning my way. I'm turning in, trying to avoid them. Oh, my reload didn't happen. He went under, and very often, you know, just the sub players will just surface again and take you out. He did not do that. And as a result, I'm able to catch him. So it's now 4 ships to 5. And they have really concentrated their firepower in one spot. As our rune works to pick up the Bravo cap, and I'm going to try and get back in here and keep them from taking Charlie. Atlanta and Tirpitz doing a great job of just staying in the game with all this concentrated fire. I'm hoping Rune can finish off the Iowa, and he does. Now Gorizia has a decision to make. He's either got to go after the Rune or follow the Amagi, as both teams are now down to 4 ships. I land a torpedo on the Amagi, but no flood. And I have to say, while I'm not sure what the flood chance is, I have not had a lot of success with getting floods with these torpedoes. So I'm just going to work on trying to get a fire going, get the torpedoes out. Okay, somebody's got him burning. You can see Izumo is following Amagi in. And I don't want to let him get so close that I can't use my smoke to run away, as I just try and keep the cap reset. Maybe I should switch to Izumo now and let the torpedoes do their work. Landed 2, did get floods. Get a fire on the Izumo. Amagi's still burning. And really, this is kind of what most games end up doing in this thing. Get to use the radar a little, not as much as you hope, but a little. And now I've got to watch for torpedoes from Mankazuki. It looks like he threw them out there at the far end of my smoke. Now remember that short torpedo rearm time. Yeah, I could use the radar. I could be helping the Alaska, but instead I'm going to come around. Yep, he's close. Maybe I should use the radar right now. Didn't have to. And I'm kind of glad that I didn't. He came back. He's going to be crossing. Even if he finishes me, I think the torpedoes are probably going to get him. Not the first set, the second. You can see I have speed boosted, just trying to juke, pick up the Confederate there. We've got 3, they're down to 2, and both of their ships are in big trouble. I think I'm going to catch the Yakuzuki right here with the torpedoes. And with that, I think we've secured the victory. Sorry to take these breaks as I'm thinking about things. Just resetting the cap. He's liable to finish me here. Regardless, thanks very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.